Cheers, everybody. We are back for another edition of Bourbon on a Budget. TJ Pittenger, Brendan Sonnone, Ben Cock, and as we continue our holiday theme, I almost said Christmas theme. I will just say it. Our Christmas theme. Friendsgiving.
Happy holidays.
Back with another friend. We went from Elliot to Joe to now Mr. Sean. Back again from the Southwest Florida Bourbon Society. Sean, how's it going, bud?
Good. I thought this was the Festivus episode because I've got a lot of things I need to talk to you guys about, get it off my chest.
And you're going to hear about it.
I don't get that reference because that show is garbage. Thank you.
The one when Ben sucks.
So every episode. Sean, welcome back. Happy holidays. Happy Festivus. All of the above. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks. I missed you guys.
How's the chair treating you?
We didn't. Brendan already.
Easy. You made me switch out chairs. I had to talk with my wife. We're getting a new office chair.
Man, live the dream.
Hope you're happy.
That sounds like a Seinfeld episode. Do you hear my chair squeaking, Jerry? I can hear him.
Whoa, you got a chair squeaking and it's blowing my mind.
Yeah. Jennifer checking in. House No here. Let us know what you're drinking.
Oh, what's
watching
up, No?
This.
Yo, House No came in clutch.
No.
We'll share that later, but House No, thank you for your contributions to Bourbon on a Budget.
Okay, so Sean is here. We're going to continue our Friendsgiving, our chat. We've got some fun stuff tonight. We're going to talk about some different picks that Sean and the group have done, the Southwest Florida Bourbon Society. If you don't remember for the first time he was on, we're going to talk about some of our favorite whiskeys of the year, whether that be, let's go. Look at Corey Todd over here. Love that last name, Corey. Todd's a great name, just for those that asked.
I don't get it.
1792 single barrel is what Jason's drinking.
Ooh.
But we're going to talk about some of our favorite whiskeys of the year. But before we do that, we forgot to do Pursuits and Purchases last week. Joe was all mad at us when we were like jumping off at the end, and he was like, "Oh, we forgot." I was like, we're on for like an hour. So we will get to that, hopefully. But I want to ask, this wasn't in the show notes, so I'm totally going to try and throw you guys for a loop here. But I want to ask Sean some of the questions that we asked Elliot. I thought those were good questions. So Sean, starting with you, I think the rest of us have kind of already answered this. Favorite drinks during the holidays? Like, what are you like? Do you have like something you're pouring right now because it's like cold weather? Maybe that's a good way to put it. Like, what's your cold weather whiskey? We did that episode last week. And then like, what are you pouring on Christmas? Like, if you celebrate Christmas, I don't mean to assume, but like, what are you pouring on Christmas Day?
So I've been doing a lot of neat. If I do a cocktail, it'll be something. What's it called? Like Kentucky Mule. I'll use something that's not really expensive and mix it with the ginger beer, something refreshing. When I was over in Hawaii for Thanksgiving and my now brother-in-law's wedding, he's a big eggnog fan, so I like to enjoy those. But that's maybe like a one and done kind of thing.
Yes.
Too many of those, and you're not feeling too good in your tum-tum, as Mr. Sonnone will say.
Who says tum-tum? That's such a immature
Who
thing.
says tom-tom?
So that was going to be my next question. You kind of ruined it for me, but wait. So what are you pouring on Christmas? Do you know what your Christmas Day pour is yet or no?
So it'll depend on. Normally, we're in Hawaii for Christmas, and my wife's family's all from there. So normally, my now brother-in-law and I will share. Normally, like one of the better bottles that we have around. So this year, I have a couple friends that will probably come over, and we'll pick something special off the shelf. Yet to be determined yet, but I'll normally let somebody pick it.
Cool. My next one was going to be Buyer Sonnone, eggnog, but it sounds like you're an eggnog fan. Did you know that Brendan Sonnone came into my Twitter Spaces this week and complained about us using Buyer Sonnone? Like other people can't use that. Like, but it's fine to use it on this show, I guess. Buyer Sonnone.
I mean, I'm here on this show. I'm a co-creator.
You were on that Spaces. I wasn't.
What is that Spaces?
Oh my God! You don't get us.
What
going
the crap
is
that?
You don't get us going on the Spaces.
Sean knows. Spaces it's just a long story, but anyway, they're cool. So you're buying.
Doesn't sound like it
sounds
at all.
like Sean.
I'll buy a single Eggnog, anything more than that, I'm sending.
Are you
That's fair.
will you does the eggnog have to have bourbon in it? Like I'll drink eggnog plain, like just straight eggnog. Like it doesn't have to have bourbon for me.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare.
It also depends on the eggnog. If it's a good one, then it can probably go without. But even I prefer a little bit of picking up in there.
Stay tuned because we have we may have some eggnog themed content coming very soon.
Not. I really
folks.
hope
We will
not.
That just
freaking
ensured that it
have
was happening.
eggnog.
Like,
We
oh,
were
the eggnog
shitting our
episode.
brains out in a week.
What a garbage episode. No one tuned in for that one.
yeah,
No video, just audio.
yeah. We watched
Gargle eggnog.
we watched Christmas Vacation last night where he's
Oh,
just,
me
like,
too.
chugging the end. Yeah, where he gets mad and he's just like chugging it.
The moose.
Oh, so great. There are I watch that movie once a year with Kara.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
every year I pick up 2 or 3 new things that I missed.
Yes.
And I've probably seen the movie 80 times, but okay, Sean, last one. Favorite Christmas movie? We'll go around the horn on this one.
Home Alone.
Home
Clutch.
Alone. Let's go. It's a good one. Ben,
Oh, dang. So
I said we were going around the horn.
I know. You said that like 3 seconds ago. You're like, we're going around the horn, Ben. And I was like, okay. So I have 2. I have a modern and an oldie. So my OG is White Christmas.
Dang it. That would be mine too. I like it.
Dude, the music, choreography, all of that, incredible.
Have you guys watched it yet this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Multiple times.
Never mind. I'm not
Okay.
going to invite you then.
The new one, though, and you have to watch this, is
Polar
called...
Express.
No, that's garbage movie.
Those kids are really creepy in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love Tom Hanks, but that movie sucks. The new one is a movie called Klaus. It's on Netflix, and it came out
I've
like
seen
2
this,
years
yeah.
ago. It's
Yeah.
animated. I love Klaus. But the reason I love it is because I also love Emperor's New Groove. And Klaus is a Christmas Emperor's New Groove. And it's incredible. So if you haven't seen that yet, go see it. It's in theaters.
Sinone.
Krampus.
I wasn't calling on Sinone.
You're
I was
Sinoni.
just-
Oh, you're Sinoni.
I was
You were
Sinone.
Sinoning like Klaus. It's a false. It's a false.
What you
Sinone.
got, Brendan?
Dude, I love Krampus. Came out a couple years ago. It's like a horror movie, but it's not that scary, and it's kind of cozy. It's got the wintry
What? Hold on.
coziness. It's funny. It's different. It changes up the pace a little bit. Yeah, I like Krampus.
You're choosing a horror movie as your favorite Christmas movie?
You chose an Emperor New Groove knockoff. I don't know what the standard
It's
is.
a Christmas
here.
movie. It's a Christmas movie.
Krampus is a Christmas movie. It's about having the Christmas spirit and why that's important is the message throughout. It's well acted. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's
that's
paced
our
well.
Yeah.
I think I already won.
Yeah, I was. I go
White-
Christmas Vacation.
White Christmas is up.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation would be my new one. Home Alone's like a close second.
Die Hard.
No, we were talking about Christmas movies. So, but for old ones, I think Ben's pretty spot on. White Christmas, but I will say I like all the classics. Like I like White Christmas. I like Miracle on 34th Street. I like,
It's a Wonderful Life. It's right
yeah,
up there, right?
like It's Wonderful
Brendan loves
Life.
Nightmare on Elm Street. You've seen that one? That's another Christmas classic. Jeez.
But I mean, that said, I like all the Christmas movies. Like I like Scrooged. I even like the little Charlie Brown thing that comes out every year. Like
Yeah, I do too.
All
That's valid.
like who? So anyway, all right, let's get into why
Jennifer
people tune
likes
in.
Die Hard. There we go, Jennifer. Thank you. I love the No Family. Coming in clutch.
Okay, Jake likes the OG animated Grinch.
That's a good
Kara
one.
loves.
That's a good
Kara
one.
and my kids love the Jim Carrey Grinch. Like
I would agree. I remember
love.
going and seeing that in theaters. That's how good it was. Like,
I actually
man,
likes
it's
that
great.
one. The OG animated one's pretty great. I used to have nightmares about that one though. Scary. It sucked my mom into the TV.
Yeah, glad you watch Krampus now. That's
Yeah.
Jeez.
Big boy now.
What is in your head?
Four Christmases is hilarious. Like
No, I tried
it's
watching
not-
that the other day. That sucked. That was awful.
That's not a Christmas movie.
That was
What?
awful.
That's not a Christmas movie.
Sorry,
What do you mean
TJ.
that's not a Christmas movie?
This is not a Christmas movie.
Awful.
Yes, it is. You're an idiot. Okay, the one where Ben doesn't know what a Christmas movie is. It's not a Christmas movie. What are you talking about?
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
I'm
Let's
so
go.
thrown off now. Okay, I think that's all the questions we had. Sean, the floor is yours. You guys have had some great picks recently with the Southwest Florida Bourbon Society. We talked about, if you guys haven't already watched, unless you're watching live, don't go now because I don't want our numbers to drop. But if you're just listening to this, go back and listen to the first time we had Sean on. He talked about building the Southwest Florida Bourbon Society.
Yeah.
Really, really cool story there. But you guys have some picks that these two gentlemen, well, Ben and Brendan, are going to taste and nose. I've been a little under the weather this weekend and to start this week, so I'm not. But talk to us about what we're about to jump into, and then these guys are going to taste them. We're going to try not to spend too much time on this because we're not doing like full reviews. But talk to us a little bit about these picks that we've got in front of us.
So I think last time I was on was right after our release of the Elijah Craig pick. That's back when they were doing 94 proof. Good news is we have another one coming that's going to be barrel proof, but I think that'll be after the first of the year. Since then, I think we have released a total of 10 barrel selections within our footprint between Sarasota and Naples. It's been sort of hot and heavy since December. We've had back-to-back weekends of releases with one more on the way. A little spoiler alert for anybody listening. We have a Wilderness Trail weeded bottle coming out on Saturday, as long as it arrives in one piece. But it's been a string, and I think we really hit our groove. We have quite a few of our admins who have just incredible palates and taste and are well-rounded, and I think we all work really well together. I know Corey's on here right now. He helped us with some that are coming in the future. We had a group of us back in August or September. We went to Kentucky, and over a 3-day span, we picked 5 barrels, including, I think, one of them I know we chose up there, and then Wilderness Trail, which is coming out. But the Yellowstone that you guys have was picked up there, which that experience is like no other. They have some of the most knowledgeable people you'll ever meet, and just the whole story behind everything. They're part of the Beam family as well as the dance, and they're just intertwined with everything. But I gave you guys 5 samples. First one I gave you was a Maker's Mark selection that we did with Total Wine and More. That thing just is amazing. A Russell's Reserve pick that we did, which is one of the rare ones because it was at Rick House at Camp Nelson A, which is you don't really find a lot of, and people tend to really gravitate for those with all the turkey heads. The Chattanooga whiskey, which was done in concert also with Sarasota Liquor Locker / Dive and the Eskimo Brothers up there. We split that barrel, as well as friend of the show, Pat Davis. Shout out to him. Great guy, and glad to work with him.
Shout out Pat.
The Yellowstone, which is these are all around the 110 proofs, and we can go one by one quickly. And then the last one I gave you was the Oak and Eden, which is a wheat inspire, which has a cool little story behind it.
Cool. Well, let's jump into it. Brendan, this show is all about you, and so why don't you decide where we start?
Let's go with the one that Ben is very excited about that he's been nosing here. It's first in my line here. That's the Chattanooga whiskey. So Sean, what are the deets? What are the specs here on the Chattanooga?
All right, so Chattanooga, it's a single barrel. It's 119.7 proof. What they did with their single barrel program this year is, I don't know if you guys knew about the Bottled and Bond that they released. They had a spring and fall edition. Well, it had 4 different mash bills with it. They had a wheated, their classic 91 proof. They had a peated, and then the one we chose was a roasted. So they had a bunch of roasted malt into it. It really stood out to all of us. It's over 4 years old. I thought it just has a lot of cocoa chocolate notes to it and a little bready, but it's personally one of my favorite picks we've ever done.
Yeah, I really enjoy this. So just as a point of reference, I'm coming from drinking, your other Oak and Eden, which has a lot of like smoke and oak characteristics. So coming to this after that, I think my palate is kind of rejoicing at some of the lighter kind of notes. And so I'm pulling honey, green apple, lemon. And on the original Chattanooga, I pull a lot of like black tea, lemon. Like it's a very summer whiskey to me, like a very summerish bourbon. But now that I've kind of been sipping it a little bit, the bready notes are very apparent. I pick up a little bit of like shortbread, kind of like a lot of butter, bread notes as well. So I'm with you. I like it. I think my palate was originally to pick up all the fruitier notes, but there's definitely some breadiness to it. I'm enjoying this a lot.
Ben stole all my nosy notes, so I didn't get the. Yeah,
I didn't mention
there's
sourdough.
legitimately a private chat that would say otherwise. So yeah, I'm getting the bready notes that Ben mentioned too, but the soury like green apple that he's getting, that to me is more in the bread area. So I mean like a sourdough bread with like a nice honey butter on the nose. The chocolate shows up on the taste, and then the finish, and it's legit. Could you show it again? Did you say Cocoa Puffs, or is that?
So
like,
we did a side by side, or so our group did the Cocoa Puffs thing, where Sarasota's group, the Eskimo Brothers, did. The owner is named Brock, so they did Count Brocula.
Solid.
I get it.
I think we got around 100 bottles. I think there's 8 left at our main partner store, Fiddlesticks.
That's super unique.
This
Super
afternoon.
unique. Very nice, toasty, chocolatey on the end. That's really, really unique all the way throughout. I love Chattanooga whiskey. They do a great job. So different than anything else you taste on the market. All right, that's a winner. I like it.
I like that bottle a lot.
Next
one.
More?
Can you go and grab that right now? Is that available anywhere?
Fiddlesticks Liquor, which is located right off the interstate I-75 in Fort Myers. Unfortunately, I think there's 8 left down here, but there should be still some left up in Sarasota, which might be a little bit closer for you guys.
I like that pick.
All right, Ben, you get to pick the next one. What's next?
You know what?
It's like a white elephant.
Go,
not white elephant, but like this is like a go around the horn. Let different people.
I want to go into a personal favorite of mine, wild turkey. So let's take a stroll down Turkey Lane and get into some Russells. Are we? Is this a Russell's 10-year pick, or is this a single barrel kind of like?
So like I said earlier, it's a Rickhouse Camp Nelson A, which is highly desired in the turkey community. We actually made these own custom tags on it. We have one of the best people in the business in making stickers and all of these ancillary stuff. Bobby Welsh, shout out to him.
Bobby.
So it was distilled in December of 2012, dumped in August of 21, bottled in August of 21. So almost 9 years old, and little takeoff what is it? They're gonna kill me because I don't remember the reference. It's called Camp Nowhere, I think was the movie, and Camp Nelson A because it got released right on Halloween weekend, so we did Halloween theme for it, and this one sold out within 3 hours.
This nose is really solid. I love this nose.
Very good nose. Coming off the Chattanooga one, though, it's like very different, extremely different. The finish on this, Sean, I love it. It's exceptional.
What's our proof on this, or is it just regular 110?
Yeah. All Russell's private barrel picks are proofed down to 110. We had 2 of our better wild turkey guys on it, John Dolafino and Eric Simpson, and it just showed with how great this one came out.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mouth feels great. A lot of depth and like heavier. I would say heavier on the palate. So like your caramel, your oak is definitely a little more there.
A little dark cherry.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, that's classic turkey. It's everything that's great about turkey. What did this cost, Sean?
I'd like to say it was around $50 a bottle.
Wow,
that's a great deal for that.
Yeah,
maybe no more than 55. We're super lucky with our partner down here. He does not up the price of anything. It is what it is, and he prices it to move, and everyone loves him for it.
Yeah, for sure. 70, 75, I think would be like really reasonable for this. It's high quality, really good. All right, nicely done.
All right, Sean, you pick the next one, and then we'll have one left.
All right, since nobody's going to pick it, we're going to go to Oak and Eden.
Let's go, Oak.
So what is Oak and Eden for the people who aren't familiar with that brand, not as well known as Chattanooga or Turkey?
So Oak and Eden they're out of Texas, and they're not necessarily they're not a bourbon, they're a finished whiskey, because what they do is they add oak spires in it. And the way that their program works is everything is MGP juice, normally about 4 to 6 years. I think ours was about 5 years old. You get to pick between a wheated bourbon, or a rye. We chose for this one a wheated bourbon. You choose the proof next, 90 proof or 116. We chose the 116. You choose the spire that goes in there between French oak and American oak, and we chose French oak. And then finally, you choose.
They asked what the bottle was. It's this Oak and Eden here. I'll make him a little bit. The Oak and Eden wheat and spire. Sorry to cut you off there, but we just had a question from Mike.
And then the last sort of variable you get to take is the toast level on the spire. So you could do medium toast, heavy toast, or char. We thought the best tasting was the medium toast, which is what we chose. And out of the stuff that everything that we had, this one stood out. And as you can tell, it's just so dark comparative, especially for a whiskey that's only 5 years old. It's I think it definitely stood out from some of the other ones that we had. And I mean, I'll let you guys give your opinions on it.
What do you think, Ben?
Just
be honest.
This isn't as much of my profile as a Chattanooga and the Russell Reserve is. I love kind of like the outside of like smoke and heavy oak notes. And I think the Oak and Eden is a little oily and definitely a lot of oak characteristics to it. I think that probably comes from the spiral. You know, it's working, or it's doing whatever it says. But if you are searching for like, if you like a Knob Creek 15 as opposed to Knob Creek 12, then this is like a really approachable version, or a more readily available version of that, where you can say, hey, I like those really heavy oak notes that sit heavy, are very oily, palate forward, that kind of stuff. Then this may be your profile. It's not mine. That's not a problem, but you know, that's where I'm at with this one.
So Ben mentioned both in his description there, oaky and oily, and this is going to sound so weird. The smell, as I was thinking about it, for some reason it triggered a memory of my grandma's house, and she used to live in like an old like 1920s apartment that was like super woody smell, and then she was always cooking with olive oil because Italian. So it's funny that these are the flavors that Ben mentioned, because this is what triggered my memory of that. So it is very almost leaning towards like a scotchy kind of element with the toast and the smoke and the oiliness of it. It's very thick. I like this, but I'm also a big Scotch fan. And it tastes like tomato sauce too. Hi, Numa. R.I.P.
Great.
Tastes like tomato sauce?
Tomato oil sauce. Sounds good.
So what I liked about this one, it's kind of off profile from a lot of other things that we did. I get like almost like it's a toasted, just because I get a lot of the campfire-y,
that's amazing.
kind of off just the nose. And I think the finish, like you get that Kentucky hug that lasts for a good little bit. Now, if you're not a big oaky bourbon fan, it's probably not sort of in your wheelhouse, but I think that it's unique enough that it's unique, and I really enjoy it. So, but that's the best part about bourbon. There's enough out there.
You'll find something you like.
The price point didn't hurt. It was around $50-ish with a wheat. So just something, giving a shot to a sort of a company that really doesn't have a huge following, like a lot of Kentucky distilleries, and was thoroughly impressed with the product that they ended up putting out.
And sorry, Sean, what was the proof on it?
The proof on it was 116.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely drinks not as hot for the proof.
Mhm.
It drinks as heavy as like an older bourbon, you know?
I was gonna guess like 100 proof based on that. Yeah, interesting.
So I think you'll see with like the samples that I gave you, they're all within that 110 to 120 proof, but they all drink down, at least where it doesn't blow out. Just because you get still the flavor explosion that you look for with higher proof bourbons, or whiskeys, but you're not completely getting overly intoxicated. You're not feeling like you're blowing out your palate.
Challenge accepted.
Speak for yourself. Let's can we do the makers real quick, because we're spoiler alert, we're gonna review the makers on Thursday and going right off of the Oak and Eden. I think we'll give as fair a shake as we can to the Yellowstone, because it's gonna take a little bit of adjusting to the intensity there.
Some time.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, we do love the makers. It's really high quality. You want to give us the specs on that, Sean?
So this one is just about the lowest proof. Same with the Russells. This is 110.1 proof, bottled on June 2021. Staves are 1 seared French Cuvée, 3 Maker's Mark 46, 4 roasted French Mendiant, and 2 toasted French Spice. Called I Want S'more, in concert with Total Wine & More and Southwest Florida Bourbon Society. Patent pending.
I like
pending.
That's a reference to our show. This is awesome. It's almost gone because, again, reverse order potentially. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, mine was gone before we even finished the review. I think it was gone.
I saw you pouring it at the very end, and I was going to try to work it.
Yeah. No friggin' way that I was making it through that review. I think it's gone.
It's
what
great.
A great bottle.
The s'mores, the fact that you guys picked s'more to kind of theme it makes perfect sense. The chocolate there, very milk chocolatey, a little bit of bready notes as well. Super complex, opens up and changes a ton too. It's really good. Yellowstone, final?
Yellowstone it up. I'm so jealous of you guys.
Yeah, man. Sorry you're sick.
Yeah.
TJ also has his old round of samples, and not to mention I'm within your guys within a couple hours, and I come up by you guys on quite often. So anything you guys are wanting, I can try to help.
Happy 23. Thanks. Okay, Yellowstone.
Oh man. To me,
season.
So I've had a couple Yellowstone picks, and they're all very sweet on the nose to me, like very like sugar, like a light caramel, a little like a candied lemon, like a
hard candy lemon.
I'd say it's bright characteristics, not as like over oaked as other stuff we've tried, but it's very very sweet on the palate, delicate, on the nose at least.
I've done a couple. This is a third Yellowstone store pick that I've tried, and they all just come off as very young to me, very shiny and kind of rough around the edges. And I don't dislike this, but just compared to some of the others, like the Russells and the Makers especially, I think are amazing. This one falls a little flat, and it's just more, I think, me for Yellowstone. I'm just haven't found one that I've fallen in love with. Yeah, it's just very, very shiny and new. Tasty.
I had a Yellowstone I'll say it. I've had 2 Yellowstones here locally in Tampa, and I don't want to call out which one that I didn't love, but I'll just say I had one that I loved and one that I just wasn't a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to try Sean's. Hopefully it lies somewhere in the middle or closer to the one that I loved. But yeah, I'm kind of the same way. The Yellowstones have been hit or miss for me. For sure. Sean, what are your thoughts around it?
So give you a little bit more specs on it. This was barreled in middle of 2017. So it's probably 5 years old when it was, because this came 2 weeks ago, which means it was bottled probably about a month before that or so. 115 proof. I know that, so their experience is incredible. What they do is they give you 3 barrels and they give it to you at 3 different proofs. You get it, I think at like 105, 109, and 115. And you go through each at each proof, and you'll find that the barrels will change at each proof. Like you'll find something that you think is the one that's going to go the whole way, and then all of a sudden, a little less watered down, the taste just completely changes. So this one, I know I did in concert with Matt Haynes from our group as well as Corey Cunningham, and they were all on board thinking this had a kind of sweeter berries and cream taste to it. I find it on occasion. Sometimes I get a lot of the classic kind of caramel, vanilla, brown sugar, oaky notes. I'm with you guys. Sometimes it's a little young, but I think for a Yellowstone, this is one of the better ones I know that I personally had, and I've had quite a few. I don't think anything compares to like their limited editions. How they finish those are just insanely awesome. We were also lucky enough to have the master distiller Stephen Beam, who, to let you guys know, has a seasonal house in Tampa Bay. So if you guys ever want to
bottles,
hit him up, he spends a lot of time. He was so gracious. He was down here for about 4 hours signing bottles, talking with everyone about all the processes, and he's just a history book of knowledge regarding all things bourbon. But I think it's a really good expression. I mean, like all things, especially with barrel picks, it's going to hit some. You can't hope to have every single person agree that it's going to be the best thing they've ever had, but you try to hit as many people as you can. So,
yeah,
sure.
One thing. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I think as you're kind of choosing a barrel here, the question is like, do I choose something that's like super off profile that I really enjoy, or do I choose something that's going to sell? And so I don't think there's a wrong decision of like, hey, this is so down the middle of the pipe, vanilla, caramel, oak, and you just say, hey, this is going to be what we choose because it's going to sell, it's going to move bottles because we're not the ones buying the barrel. It's going to be the store owner that says, hey, I'm going to invest this amount of money in the hopes that you guys can kind of sell this bottle. And so I think when you're kind of choosing it, the question is, do I go really eclectic profile or something that is like just the most approachable? That's kind of like the decision you're kind of like balancing.
It 100%. But I think what we found more so is now you want something that has some sort of something that you can like tentpole, something that stands out amongst, because anybody can buy a bottle of Yellowstone, Oak and Eden, Russell's Reserve. You can buy that on the shelf and it's normally going to be a couple dollars cheaper. You want something that has some sort of note that really stands out, or some sort of profile that I think, especially after you do quite a few of these barrel selections, something that people will know, okay, I like this profile. They're not going to set me adrift. Like they're not going to pick something that's completely off profile, unless there is something that the group that day is just like, wow, that is so unique and tastes really good.
Right.
That you want everyone to try it. But then you also give the forewarning. And a lot of what we try to do is do some education before we select barrels, is get our group to have either virtual or live tastings with a lot of these companies to get some of the brand awareness out there, let people know what kind of good stuff, because a lot of the stuff is readily available and everyone's got great whiskey. You don't have to sit there and wait in line or try to battle people for a lot of the allocated stuff if you don't have to. Like there's a lot of good stuff out there. So education is key.
All right, Ben, Brendan, you guys just got to try them all. Which one or two, or which ones stick out for you?
Ben?
I am very partial to this Chattanooga and Russell's are like my two stellar standouts. I love Maker's Mark. Don't get me wrong. I think Maker's Mark is in the top 3, but I want to revisit Chattanooga because I came from Oak and Eden, so I want to kind of get Chattanooga on a fresh palate again. But I really enjoyed Chattanooga a lot. And And so I think the top three right now are Chattanooga, Russell's, and Makers. And Makers and Russell's may swap, but great picks overall. I mean, these are really solid picks.
My top three are the same as Ben's. So the Chattanooga, I do want to try that one, the fresh palate, because I find that like Chattanooga in general has a different taste than almost any other whiskey out there. And this one is a little funky even for the Chattanooga range, but like in a good way. It's very interesting. There's a lot going on. To me, like the most traditional, high quality, like we're talking about like a great bourbon is the Russell's. I thought the Russell's was awesome. And then Makers I really enjoyed, and then the Chattanooga is third for something that's a little different. But I liked all three of those a really good deal. The Oak was solid, and the Yellowstone not my preference, although I like the finish a lot. I think they're all unique and have something cool to offer. But the Russell's to me, I think is borderline on special. Like it's really good.
That's what I'm going to attack first. This is
the Russell's.
This
yeah,
the
Russell's is really good.
No. Cool. Anything else to add on those picks? We got another segment, then we'll get out of here. But we appreciate
move along.
I appreciate this. I appreciate the feedback though, because we're always trying to just do better, trying to reach more voices, get more opinions on it, so that we can try to pick something that more appeals to the masses as much as possible. I mean, there's nothing more fun than doing this experience, like a barrel selection, which it's not a lot of people get to do, and it's fun seeing people's reactions to something that you spend your time and money like going out to go do. So I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you we appreciate you. Thank you for sharing all these wonderful samples with us.
Anytime.
Okay, so what we've got now is a fun little segment. Brendan and I were kind of going back and forth today, trying to think of another little segment. Not that we plan out the shows the day of, but here we are. We'll see behind the curtains. Whiskey memories. We're almost to the end of the year. Not, the time between Christmas and New Year's. We're not going to wait until then to do this. Hopefully we don't get anything else crazy between now and then. But let's go around the horn. This is going to be a fun one. Let's talk about your favorite three whiskeys, right? One that you bought, one that you were given, whether that somebody gave you a sample or somebody gave you a pour at their house or just whatever, however you want. Somebody gave you a bottle, doesn't matter. Favorite one that you bought, favorite whiskey you were given, and then your favorite whiskey you bought out. So like your favorite pour that you bought out.
Favorite pour out. Jeez.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So
I know, because I
told you about this earlier today.
I'm so stingy.
I know Ben's favorite pour is like when he found
at the house
Blanton's for $6 because it was a good deal. Like that's Ben's favorite pour is just
doll hairs.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Brendan, you want to start us off?
Yeah.
Sean, did he tell you about this?
I got forewarning, so.
All right, good.
All right, so favorite. So we'll start off. I will start off with my favorite bottle that I purchased this year. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to cheat and do a top three, but I'll go really quick. Number 3 for me is Heaven's Door Redbreast cask finish. It was super unique, awesome combination of bourbon with the Irish whiskey finish. I wouldn't spend $100 on it again, but was super unique. I have no buyer's remorse, which, sometimes you spend $100 on a bottle. You're going to feel a little bad about it. Look, it's almost gone. Like I'm milking this. I don't want it to end. Number 2 for me, we've talked about this one a lot lately. Again, super unique, interesting. The Conics maple syrup cask double barrel finish. That was great from the Miami Bourbon Society. Really cool. Again, really unique, different with the high proof there with the maple syrup. And number 1, it's high up on our big board for a reason. Something I tried this year. I have multiple bottles of now. I love it. It's a great daily drinker. If you can find it, it's not allocated, whatever you guys say. It is Smoke Wagon, small batch, MGP juice done really, really well. So that's my top 3 that I've been able to purchase this year.
That's your purchases. Do you want to go all the way around, or do you just want to go each person?
Oh, let's go each person in each category.
All right, Ben, you're up.
Okay. So I would say that one of my favorite bottles I've purchased this year, and I bought, I think 2 or 3 of them so far, is I really enjoy this year's release of Midwinters. Like I think it is really outstanding. It's great. Now, that is $120 bottle after taxes and all that kind of crap. So it's not a cheap bottle by any means. So let me throw in one of my favorite cheap bottles that I bought this year. And I am freaking over the moon. This review just came out, if you've been paying attention. I love, like, enough where I'm about to go buy like 2 or 3 more bottles of it. Every store's been getting it recently, but it's a Blue Note store pick. And they're coming out like at 123 proof.
That rapid review from Gaspar's just dropped today. So if you haven't watched it, go back and check it out.
It's 123 proof, 123.4 proof, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that. And it's $36. $36 right now at Gaspar's. If you go and say, oh, it's like, maybe like 4 or 5 years. But the whole entire story is like one of the warehouses like collapsed. And so these barrels were just like sitting in the sun for like a year. Like, the story's great on it. But regardless, I'm a big, I really enjoy light whiskey. And so like the Obtanium light whiskey is awesome to me because it has like a creme brulee custard kind of feel. And the Blue Note is so similar to it at $36. And if you go and say, hey, Bourbon on a Budget sent you, then it's $5 off your purchase. And so you can get an outrageous deal on this 123 proof bottle of whiskey. It is so stellar, and I will push the crap out of it because I love it. But don't buy it before me because I still need there to be some. It is incredible. So those are my two. One that's like, everyone knows that bottle, but like a little sleeper bottle. Oh my gosh, this Blue Note is stupid good.
I didn't know that we were doing promo codes, but Ben is not like BSing you guys. Like he has, yeah, we are. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So,
jeez,
but Ben legitimately loves the Blue Note. He's texted us like private.
I'm about halfway through the bottle. Yeah, I just got it like a week ago.
I think he texts us how much he loves it. About like 3 or 4 pours in each time too.
Dude, it's so good. It's so freaking good.
All right, Sean, what's your favorite purchase that bottle that you purchased this year?
All right, so like you guys, I have 3. Number 3, it's from Eskimo Brothers in Sarasota. This Starlight Cigar Batch might be one of the coolest, like crazy smelling, tasting bottles I've ever had. It's finished in Amburana barrels, and it's a mind freak. Like, I've never smelled or tasted anything like it. Like, I got this not too long ago, and there's not much stuff. It's insane. So it's honestly the best thing that Starlight does. And Starlight does a lot of great finishes.
Stuff. Yep.
And this one stands out. Like, if we get offered another Starlight, I'm going to wait for a cigar finish because it's that unique and that amazing. The other 2, I mean, they're going to be pretty. At least one of them is going to be highly allocated. The William LaRue Weller from 2020 is one of the most intensely complex and just takes you on this weird, awesome journey of drinking whiskey. And then probably my favorite is I hate to be a Chattanooga show, but the Chattanooga Bottle and Bond this year is insanely good. Like, if you find either the spring or fall, you have to pick it up because it's so different because of how their malt is just insane, and they continuously just experiment, and it works out just about every single time. So,
TJ.
So I haven't popped this yet, but this might be a good one to do around Christmas, New Year's. I was the most excited.
Hold on. Are you going to say that one of your favorite bottles that you bought, you haven't opened?
He just loves the actual bottle. He doesn't talk about the stuff.
That doesn't even count.
This is the bottle that I was most excited to buy and get this year. It's this Good Times Toasted Barrel Strength Rye, the purple and gold wax, and the Kobe edition. This was one of the bottles that I was most excited about this year, without a doubt. Haven't even opened it yet, but I was jacked. Sean, do you have a thought? I feel like you.
So I don't like to say this kind of stuff, but I haven't
Yes.
had a good time as I'd like.
Well,
That's right. That's right, man.
Get your good time out of here.
Just leave it open. Just leave it
And
closed.
you're dead to
Don't even
TJ.
open it.
But
Just
I
leave
bought
it
two
closed.
just in case. I bought two.
No, I'm for them. Like if you
Sean
put
also
wax
likes
on something,
smoking
you put
Edens. It's all good. Sorry.
TJ is so butthurt. I love it.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. You know what they
Sorry,
say?
it's-
Squeaky chair gets the grease. Okay, whatever.
You know,
All I'm gonna say, if you have to toast, finish, and put like 3 different finishes on something, maybe the product isn't that good to release.
tell
on
that
its
to Seagrass and, geez, Mr. Three
own. Okay,
Finishes.
there you go. They are expert blenders over it.
I love it. I'm telling you, it's freaking great.
I was very excited when Joe was able to pick up the toasted barrel bourbon from Michter's this year that I was looking for and could not find anywhere.
Yep.
And then as far as number 3, I don't know. I really feel like this year I fell, for kind of this isn't budget, but it's definitely like kind of the cheaper side. I fell in love with 1910 this year. And so it's a bottle that's not hard to find, not all 3 finished, right? So Brendan's smirking over there, but I think that a bottle that I really liked and kind of knew that I could make as an everyday drinker and always enjoy it. And so I think that's a good fun one there. Who wants to go first on favorite whiskey you were given this year? That's a fun one.
Yes. I got one.
Yeah, it's probably one of the 18 bottles I gave you for your pursuits and purchases when we started this show. Every week, Ben would be like, I want this. Next week, hey, I got you this.
Well, this wasn't a bottle given to me. This is a pour given to me. And I hate to be like that guy because it's so straightforward and just unobtainable in general.
Now, this was a pour given to me, just for the record. But
right, and then it was betrothed to me.
Betrothed?
Yes, it was from TJ. It is, and Sean is right here. It is the William LaRue Weller. Was that 2020 that we tried?
2020.
Brendan, what was the one you sent me?
It was either 2020 or 2019 because I got it last calendar year, technically.
All I know is that bottle, it blew me away. I remember thinking, like, this is all hype. Like, oh, yeah, of course William LaRue is going to be great. I'm not a super, like, pappy or weeded, like, fanboy. And that thing was, like, strawberries and cream and, oh, my gosh. The nose on it alone was outrageous. I remember thinking, like, this is worth the hype. It was as easily hands down the best whiskey that was given to me, even that I've tried all year. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I won't waste time. That was absolutely my best pour that was given to me this year.
Did I give that? I gave that to you guys?
Yeah,
we tried it, and it was great. Send it again.
You're welcome.
Send it again. Holy crap.
I'm looking at it now. I've milked that one. I've only poured it out for a couple of special occasions, and I guess for you guys, you're welcome. I forgot I sent that to you.
I think I sent you some George C. Stagg. To balance it out.
I also gave Brendan some handy.
I got a handy from
he gave you
Ben.
So I wasn't gonna lie. One of those samples I was gonna give was a sample of that, but then I didn't want to completely just derail every single store pick I gave you guys.
That's 100% valid. That is 100%. Still send it, but I would, definitely. You're definitely right.
I was gonna say we wouldn't fine with you derailing that for the Weller. No, I remember I poured that and my wife smelled it literally across the room, and she was like, "That smells." And she's not a bourbon fan. She's like, "That smells amazing, like the brown sugar and
oh my gosh,
it was so good."
Ben leaving off Wild Turkey Masters Keep one. A little surprising.
Yeah,
that's a great bottle too.
I have that. Don't get me wrong. It's stellar. It is not a William LaRue Weller, but it's still great. It's still great. But if you're talking about best bottles that I've tried this year, also I freaking paid for Wild Turkey one that wasn't given to me.
No, I think you were saying like with your family.
I know.
So Ben and I have the same one. Brendan, did you go?
I have not gone. Mine will be a little nostalgic here, but it was. I mean, there's so many. Like we've gotten the chance doing this show for the last 8-9 months or so to get all sorts of cool samples and to share each other's like bottles that we got, or something like Sean, Joe Deckens. Like so many people are like Elliot, our friends of the show, have all shared with us. So there's all sorts of cool stuff we've been able to try that we probably wouldn't have been able to try otherwise. So there's a lot to pick from here. But I want to go with one really early on in the show. This is one of Ben's like first pursuits and purchases, and one that kind of introduced me to a new realm of whiskey this year, and that's Rare Breed Rye by Wild Turkey.
Oh man,
you guys sent me a sample of it. Like there were other ryes. I think Ben sent me the handy. Thank you for the handy, Ben.
You're welcome, dude.
Superior, yes. But the Rare Breed Rye is super great. It's up on the Bourbon Big Board for a reason, up to the top, because it's awesome. Ben sommelier'd me through that to where like I was able to get past some of the rye spice that I wasn't super comfortable with. And that was opened me up to really enjoying rye this year as well. So Rare Breed Rye is a great bang for your buck bottle. It's one I'm super happy I tried because, again, a whole new world of rye that I was able to explore and enjoy from that. Whole new rye. Sean, what do you got for favorite whiskey you've been gifted or sampled?
Got two. So one was from a friend in Orlando. Got to try this with him. It's the 4-Gate Split Stave.
Oh,
freaking! It's pricey. I think it's like $175 a bottle, which is
that's chunk change for Brennan.
Definitely. Well, yeah. Well,
that's true. It's all that coaching change money that I've made in the last couple of years. Thanks, Willie.
But it's what they do there is it's incredible. I wish I would find a bottle that I don't think they sell it in Florida, which also makes it a little bit more difficult to find. I think you can find it on Seal Box or something along those lines. The other one that I'm really excited about that opened my eyes was the Blue Run 14-year bourbon. What they're doing over there at Blue Run, it's incredible. Like it's obviously not a lot of their own stuff outside of what they've released recently. And the recent stuff I think was contracted through Castle and Key. And if you ever go to Kentucky, go to Castle and Key. I promise you that's going to be the most incredible experience ever. But what they're doing at Blue Run, they haven't released anything that hasn't been good. And that 14-year is like a special bottle.
I've tried to I'm looking at it right now, a 13-year-old corn whiskey that was it's 120 proof that was finished in Pinot Noir barrels that I've tried sending to TJ and Ben. They haven't sampled it yet, and I've been trying to get them to try it. But for the price, it's like $65 for, again, that proof, that age, and the cask finish. Yeah, they're doing really cool stuff there. Look at Sean picking out some bangers right now. I love it.
No doubt. Okay.
For when you purchased out, I don't know if I purchased much out.
I have one, and it's going to shock you guys when you hear what it's.
Oh, you shocked me.
So, does anybody else want to go first?
I'll go real quick because it's not that great a one. I haven't done a whole lot of drinking out in the last year.
I'm trying to be safe, TJ.
The COVID did kind of derail me for a couple.
Bourbon
months.
Cures COVID. So,
I've heard
our
that.
entire episode is going to get one of those little disclaimers on the bottom of it. CDC is going to shut us down.
God. But so I mean, 2020 was obviously a weird year for everyone, and 2021 some normalcy, in at least pockets. And with that in mind, one of my favorite whiskey experiences this year was a few months ago. I got to go down to St. Pete to see my dad. I haven't been able to see him a lot in the last year and a half or so. We went out to the St. Pete Pier, which was really cool, and it was a really pretty day outside. We went to a restaurant, got a pour of Michter's Rye. So back to the previous one, rye was something that you guys introduced to me and that I was able to enjoy. Michter's Rye is nothing crazy, but for $40, I'm going to have a heart. I'll put it this way. We really enjoyed it. I got my dad to sample it. He's never had a rye whiskey before. He enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a really good pour, good time. And I don't have a whole lot of drinking out experiences, but Michter's Rye for the price is going to be great. And then just the opportunity to share something that I'm enjoying and passionate about with my dad, given the past 2 years or so, that was a lot of fun. So that was mine.
Hold on. You didn't say that you're paying $40 for a pour.
No, for a bottle of it. So the
Okay,
pour was
I just
like
want to confirm.
$6 or $7. Yeah, I was not paying $40.
Thought you were crazy.
I couldn't imagine paying that much for a pour. Sean, do you have one on top of your head?
I had a random night out in Orlando when I was there for work, and I've never had it before, and then finally got to try it. Was Bomb Burgers from either this year or last year.
Yeah.
It's I mean, everything Michter's touches right now turns to gold.
Yeah.
Like their 10 years are amazing. All of their limited releases, like their barrel strength or toasted, it's incredible. But I'll say that Bomb Burgers was pretty legit. So that was probably the most memorable one.
Let me throw a big shout out to Joe. And Sean, I know you've given us a bunch. Like Joe has probably sent me 30 samples this year. Like just an and like some bangers in there. I mean, Brendan and I have like traded a bunch of samples, but like it's usually like, hey, we're gonna review this for the show. We're gonna do that. Like, shout out to Joe for
look at
like,
this Old Forester 130 proof barrel. So he just
out
of the goodness of his heart,
right?
like
banger after banger after banger of like samples. And I'm just like, and other people have sent us samples. Jake has sent us samples. My guy Sean in Jacksonville has sent us sample. Like, the No family has sent us samples. Jason, Jennifer,
Elliot, everyone.
Elliot has given it. But like when it comes to sample, like Joe
every week.
Yeah, like
so you just walk
my
out.
wife wants me to leave because like you open our cereal boxes and there's samples coming out. Like,
can we marry Joe? I mean, Joe literally gave TJ and I a care package when we went to North Carolina for a work trip. He sent us.
There was decadence in there, so like let's not act like it was that
you know what? Oh, that I meant to say that was like probably like my second favorite sample that I've gotten this year, just because it birthed the name Joe Decadence.
So one thing first, that Old Forester barrel strength. Those are the best barrel picks I think they do. Like,
so good.
I haven't had one that hasn't been good. And then in our side group text within the moderators, I get called out by somebody saying bourbon out of budget, and Sean is dropping $150 plus a bottle suggestion. So
bourbon not on a budget for this episode, guys. It's end of the year.
Yeah, we're breaking the budget on this one.
Ben, did you think of one yet?
Oh yeah, I got one. How about this? I'm going to shout out some whiskey societies. As Sean may know, being a leader of Whiskey Society, the best opportunity for you to drink good whiskey is within your group. You know, if you want to meet up with some local whiskey guys in your area, you got to join a bourbon society or a whiskey society and kind of just get connected with your community. That being said, we went to a Tampa Bay Whiskey Society birthday bourbon event for $45, $40? TJ, we were there. $40?
Something, I don't know.
And it was at Whiskey Cake in Tampa. And for $40, we got a buffet of food. We got to taste through the whole Whiskey Row line. So work your way all the way up. And then a pour of birthday bourbon 2021 for $40. I thought that was a freaking deal of a century. And you guys know I am the heart and soul of on a budget. Everyone else's bourbon, I am on a budget, 1,000% me. And so I think if you want to connect and get some decent stuff on a budget, right? Get involved with your local society. That community is going to be able to be the most accessible to that product. So the best pour I've paid for out was birthday bourbon, and it was $40 a pour, but I got 4 other pours and food included. So
hey, when we went to to that place on City Walk, Ring Fire or Fire Ring or whatever, we both got pretty good pours that night.
Big Fire, but yes,
Big Fire. Ring of Fire. I don't know. Johnny Cash song.
Johnny Cash's place. All right.
I believe
it was not Johnny Cash's place.
I think you got Elmer T. Lee.
You got Elmer, and I got something else.
Which was
Elmer
really
was
good.
Yeah, you got Elmer because it was like a little bit low. I remember getting something higher proof. I'm not 100% pot. I could have got a Stag Junior pick. I don't know.
No, I think they were out of it. We both kind of wanted that, and Or maybe that was it. Maybe that's what you got. But I thought we both got something that we didn't hadn't had yet. But yeah, anyway, those were good. I had Elmer T. Lee before. Somebody sent me a sample and I didn't love it. And then I got it out that night and really liked it. So, okay, I've got 3 for this. First, Bobby, favorite pour he found in a bar was Buffalo Trace Wheat Experimental, found in Lexington for $25 a pour. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
That's Bobby from Southwest Florida Bourbon Society. He's the master. He's the master printer. He's the one that does all of our stickers.
Bobby, shout out
Shout out
Bobby.
Bobby.
Shout out Bobby.
He's also the one that called me out for not being on a budget. So,
come on, Bobby.
So
shout out Sean for the It's Always Sunny reference.
I
Like it.
Shout out Sean. Yeah. I'm the opposite of Ben. Like I totally like splurge too much with like buying pours and stuff. So a couple of fun ones really quick. I did do the 2018 birthday bourbon earlier this year. I did that on really as soon as we were starting the show, right? It was on Valentine's Day. I was out with my wife, wanted to try the 2018 because that's when my first kid was born. I think that was $40 a pour. Wasn't worth it, but
did it come with food?
I mean, yes, because I paid for that food. But
and
yes,
and for other whiskeys.
Yeah. So it also came with 3 other whiskeys because I paid for them. But that was good. It was good to try that. More sentimental, like Brendan said. Not first place was the Eagle Rare 17 that I tried at Davidoff. That was good, but I think that's that's my least favorite of the Buffalo Trace antique that I've had. I wouldn't call it bad. It just wasn't. It was not like amazing. I think the other ones have all been better. The only one I haven't had is the Sazerac 18. And then number 1, Michter's 10 was like I got that in a flight like that. The best thing I got out this year was Michter's 10. Like as crazy as that is, like I
mean, it's a great model.
Not necessarily because it was like the best or the hardest to find or anything like that, but I got that in an absolute banger flight. I got that with, I believe there was an Old Fitzgerald, like 14-year on that flight. There was Nika straight from the barrel on that flight at Whiskey Cake. There was a Michter's 10, and there was one more, and I don't remember what it was, but it was like another banger, like another one like, oh, you never get this. Like you can't find this anywhere. And the Michter's 10 blew the other 3 away, like not close. And so it was probably just more to do with the timing of it, but the fact that one killed everything else that like probably should have finished behind it, that wins for me. Jason's talking about Michter's 10 Rye being far superior.
I agree with Jason.
Michter's 10 Rye is cracking that very soon.
At Christmas. Hold on.
Rye.
Yeah. And don't be finishing that off. I don't know. See, Ben's taking his AirPods. I don't really know. Well, his wired AirPods. I don't really know what the situation is here or not, but like I know Ben cracks this with other people on Christmas Eve, but I'm going to need him to save me.
Sean, I'm ready. I'm ready to freaking go. I'm ready to go. But then I stumbled upon this one like a week ago, and so I had to freaking buy both. Like, come on. So I've been holding on to this one. This is
Ben has been on a hot streak.
So good.
This is a 20, and then I have a 2021 of the regular bourbon. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. That'll be Christmas time. Christmas.
It's so good. It might be the best bourbon, or I'm sorry, best rye in the game.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be a great Christmas Eve.
That's epic. We're a little over an hour, so unless you guys have something really, really big you want to get to on Pursuits and Purchases, we can push that to next week. Do you have something, Brendan? Ben?
No. No.
Let's. I mean, if Sean's got something, then throw it to Sean. But we'll be here.
I don't know if there's like really anything that. I mean, what would you guys consider be like a big Pursuit and Purchase? Like, I need to know what kind of threshold we're talking about.
Would like a Pappy Van Winkle be a big Pursuit and Purchase for you?
That's probably
for some.
Secondary.
For some.
So, give me a second.
Oh man, the build up.
What if he dropped it right now?
Oh! It's in a silk bag.
Jeez.
So I got lucky enough through ABC Vault, which might be one of the best loyalty programs out there.
Completely agree.
A 20-year.
Sheesh.
So happy. So I find that there's something with karma because I did have a 12-year bottle of the what's a lot tea, and I brought that for my now brother-in-law's wedding. Shared it with him, gave it to him, and I'm like, "This is yours."
Oof.
And then a week later, you get an email saying, "Hey, would you like to purchase this?" And you're not going to not want it, so you got to do what you got to do. And now, of course, they want me to bring this next time I come to Hawaii. So
I was gonna say, I bet if you gave that to me, you get a 23-year email like tomorrow. Like you'd be set.
Well, as appreciation and in the Christmas spirit, I know that the top three for you guys was the Chattanooga, the Russells, and the Makers. So I want to make sure that each of you get at least one of these bottles so you guys can divvy amongst themselves, but I'll make sure to get you guys a bottle of each.
Let's go.
One, so somebody gets the Chattanooga, somebody gets the Makers, somebody the Russells.
Wow.
As an appreciation for
There's no losers there. There's no losers there. No.
For Ben.
Send
As
me
long as
and Brendan one.
Give me a Chattanooga.
No,
Ben wants a Chattanooga.
send Ben the Oak Inspire.
Chattanooga. The Chattanooga.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brendan, you can pick the other one. I'm excited either way.
No, I'm happy. They're really, really good.
So maybe we'll split
Stellar
those two
picks.
up then. We'll drink them halfway down and ship our bottles back and forth.
I'll say that what's in the comments right now, the Parker's Heritage 10-year heavy char wheat is anything Parker's Heritage normally is a banger, and that thing is top notch.
I had a
Yeah,
chance
I gotta try it for
the orange.
Curacao.
Yeah, and I passed on it as a pour just because I didn't know if I don't like orangey flavor stuff typically, but yeah.
Ben and I tried the Parker's Heritage 10-year heavy char bourbon the night the Lightning won the Stanley Cup. That was a lot of fun. Kind of celebrated
Great
that. Jason, Blue Note 17 is the pour of the night for Christmas Eve in
A
the
minute
No
after
House.
Ben's
Christmas
heart.
Eve is like the ultimate bourbon night, in my
That's dope.
opinion.
I don't know. I think there's like 364 other days that are just as
Just
good.
saying.
So,
Saying, Christmas Eve.
Brendan, you got something.
We'll get into pursuits and purchases for ourselves next week, but I do want to give a shout out to Jason, who's in the comments. The No family was really, really kind to Bourbon on a Budget recently. They sent down a couple of samples of Balcones that we are going to review, maybe January, I think, or February, but sometime soon. We want to do some reviews of the Balcones, the Texas stuff. I opened up a couple of those little samples. I got to get you guys them. Smelled really great. And Jason also sent a sample to me of Redbreast Pedro Menez edition sherry, and I love Redbreast. I'm super excited for that. We also got a blind test to do that Jason sent down too, like a blind tasting. So yeah, so thank you to the Nose for sending that down. Really appreciate it. And we got some samples we'll send you guys too. We'll put our minds together and think of some cool stuff to get you guys as well as a thank you. But really appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Come back on Thursday when Brendan and Ben review the Maker's Mark pick that we talked about this evening with Sean. Excited for that. S'mores. I'm ticked off that I wasn't part of that review, but I am excited to try that sample hopefully later this week. I don't know, maybe Wednesday or something. But follow us on social media, interact with us there. Sean, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
It's
Southwest
everywhere.
Florida Bourbon Society on Facebook, Instagram, all social medias.
Almost forgot.
What a shout out.
I did share the video there, so hopefully the people don't hate me too much for sharing the stuff there.
We've got a great group of administrators and a great group down here. We welcome everybody within the state of Florida and even outside if you come to visit. We're just trying to put out good picks. The goal is to get good whiskey down in our area. So
Yeah.
thanks for giving us the platform, and love you guys.
Yeah, love you
Merry
too.
Christmas.
Have a great Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for everything.
Love you, Sean.
Look at
Happy-
this.
happy
Look, the
Festivus.
love
Thank
is
you, Jason. Oh,
the
it's
love is
flowing. It's a holiday
thick.
season.
It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah to Elliot if he's watching out there as well.
He'll be very offended that you. Hey, I just got Newberg's address and asked, like, hey, I'm going to send Christmas
pronounced
cards. And then it kind of
bombers.
dawned on me that I was
I
sending it to a
mean,
Jewish
you know,
guy.
it's a thought
but
that counts.
he was like, yeah, that's fine. He was like, send it on. No big deal. So, Bourbon on a Budget everywhere on social media. Please interact with us. We're desperate for friends. For TJ Pittenger, Brendan Sinode, Ben Cock, and
And myself.
Sean.
Sean's squeaky
Southwest
chair is not squeaked
Florida
at all.
Bourbon Society. Cheers.
Come back. Sean's been here for years.
Bye.